All right, let's see how much we can do. So we're talking about the abacus, and this is actually a very big one. I also have a small abacus, and this abacus helps me do calculations. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this book. This book is available on Amazon, and so we're talking about what an abacus is. And so here is lesson 1. I have 12 lessons here, and we were talking about how to read the abacus. So let's see. I'm trying to find my papers. So this one says it's 0. So to look at that, we do 0 like this. This is 0. How do I know? Well, this beam is what counts, right? This beam is what makes us count. And so from here, we know that none of the beads are touching. When none of the beads are touching, that means that it is not counted. All right, so what am I trying to do? I am trying to find my stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's what this is for. Okay, so when we do 1, right, we have 1 and that's 1. So on a different abacus, it's the same abacus, it's just different color. This is 0 and still has a concept of this is the beam. This beam, whether or not we read it or not, is telling us that this is not counted. So it's not counted, we don't need to worry about it. This is what we call 0. Ah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So today we are going to be doing that. And then, so we do 1. Since there's no dot, this one has a dot. I don't know if you can see that. This one has a dot. So you notice there's a dot. So that dot tells me that I can start from here or I can start from here. What I want to do is I want to start from one of these dots. I like to start from here because that means I have more places, more digits. What does that mean? Well, we go through the place values. So we have ones, tens, hundred, thousands, and then 10,000. You can start from here if you want. That's fine too. You could be ones, tens, thousands, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000, and a million. You could do that too. That's not a problem. But I like to start where the dot is just because I enjoy it. So then, this one doesn't have a dot. The dot. So this one, it doesn't matter where you want it, but you have to remember which column you're using. If it's this case, then I would use this column because then I don't get confused. Because if I did this, then I'll be like, oh, and then if I want to say 10, I'll be like, is this 10 or is this 1? Right? Because then we don't know what it is. But here, this is 1. So on this dot, we have 1. So here is a Chinese abacus. How do I know it's a Chinese abacus? Well, this Chinese abacus, I should figure out how to do that. Okay, so this Chinese abacus, there's 2 beads on top and 5 beads on bottom. It's kind of the same, but it's a little redundant. Well, what does that mean? Well, there's still the beam, right? And once the bead touches the beam, it gets counted. This is a different type of one. Nobody really does abacus competition on the Chinese one. They usually do it on the Japanese one, but they don't even use this one. They use this one. And this one is a little bit longer. I think this is like 27 columns. But anyways, okay. So we're back to here. This is a Chinese abacus, and we do the same counting. 1. How do I know? Well, this bead is touching this beam, so that's 1. So these 3 different abacus is 1. Now, when we say 2, right? We have 2, 2, 2, and then 2. And then what I did here was I made a picture of it. So then when we go into the rest of the worksheets, we could see what it looks like. And then here I have an explanation of what it is. It's 1 bead on top or 2 beads on the bottom. So this one says 2 beads touching the beam. These beads are counted. Ooh, I need to change that. This is what we call, then the abacus is displaying 2. So this is 2, and then this is 2. Okay, and then we know what 3 is because it's all the bottom beads. All the bottom beads has a value of 1. There's 3 here, and 3 here. Notice that in this picture, I'm trying to show a picture of what the abacus looks like. Here is what my real abacus looks like, and here's what a picture looks like. But on the Chinese abacus, it's still the same. We're still on the right path, but then we do 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is all the bottom beats touching. So that's what we're doing here. So when we go through the actual workbook, this is my workbook, what I'm doing is I'm just showing them how to do the abacus. And so this is just trace the number, right? And then they have to find the abacus that has a 0. So I'm trying to relate the actual picture to the abacus, and then this is the symbol of the number. And then I have it again where we are finding the abacus. But I actually want to do is I'm going to change it a little bit, because I'm going to say, whatever this number is, how do we know? Okay, I'll explain what this means. So we have number 1. So again, on our abacus, we show the number 1. That's what 1 is. So the idea for the beginning of this book is to get the kids used to knowing what an abacus looks like. Once they know what an abacus looks like, then it's easy for them to actually do like adding and subtracting. So, and then the next step would be multiplication and division. So we have it where we do 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Right now we're doing 1. The idea here is this is 1, that's 1, and then this is 1, right? And then they had to find where the number 1 is. Here is interesting is what I want to do is, instead of saying find the number 1, I want to know is if this is number 1, it's not, well, maybe this is not the right one. And then this is 1, so we have to color this in. Let me color it in. So this is 1, because if you look, there's the beam, right? There's the beam right here, and then there's the 1 bead touching, just like the one on the abacus. And then, have the kids to trace the number 1 so they know how to write it and draw it. So I am actually going to start coloring in my book. So this one is not 1 because it looks like this. And then we go, so I'm not doing that one. So then there's this one. That's what this is. This is a little tricky because it's the bead on top, not the bead on the bottom. So pay attention, right, where the beads are. So then this one looks like that. Does it look like 1? No, it doesn't look like 1. So the idea was to go and hunt to see what is being used. All right, so then we have this number. So we keep going. That doesn't look like 1. This one we have looks like that, and that is 1. So in the picture and the abacus, it looks like 1. And so we want to color that in. Okay, and then here, does that look like 1? No, that's what this is. So we, right now we're only focusing on 1, and this is the activity. So I have a whole book of abacus activities, and then I'm just going through and I am answering and following these pages that I created. This one has that number. That does not look like 1, so I'm going to cross it out. This one has more, and then this one, right? This one looks like this. That is what we want to do. We want to color it in. Okay? So here does not look like 1, so we're going to cross this out. Here looks like 1, so we're going to color it in. There's a lot of them. Maybe, okay. So that one does not look like 1. And then we're going to cross it out. This does not look like 1. Cross that out. This one is tricky because it's the top bead. The top bead is not what we're looking for. We're looking for the one that's on the bottom bead of this beam. So this is not what we're looking for. And then if we look at that to go here, nope. But here, right, this looks like 1. So we want to color that in. Yeah. We're going to color it in, and then here, that does not look like 1. So we're going to cross that out, and then this one looks like 1. Yeah, it took me a long time to make this book, but now it's done. Now it's easy to keep going, right? So that's what this is, and then we have this one where I want the students to learn how to trace. So the idea was that they need to know how to trace the number up and then down, and then this is what the abacus looks like: 1. And then O-N-E, 1, with 1. up, and then down. And then this is what the abacus looks like. 1, and then O-N-E, 1, with one pig. Okay, so we have them tracing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is just the activity that I have created, and this is my book. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so this is all about abacus and learning the abacus. And then what it is it talks about like all the different numbers. So we go 0 to 9. So I'm going to do a quick review because I actually have to go pretty soon. So we're talking about the 4, right? And then we do the activities. And the idea here is a one-to-one correspondence. One-to-one correspondence, that is also part of like a Common Core. I don't know if anybody follows Common Core, but here in California, we follow Common Core. So this was to help bridge the gap between abacus and regular school. So I have it where it goes 1 to 1. They count it 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. It looks like tomatoes. So there's 4 tomatoes, and then they had to find what the abacus looks like. And then we have follow the path. So following this path means that they color in the color in the key, right? These are the keys, and then they can go anywhere they want, but they have to find where the abacus is. And here I have it where I've written it out. So the idea was that they had to write out the number to practice their handwriting, right? And then they can travel anywhere they want. So this one, goes from, let me do a different color. Let me do green. So if I had green here, I could take this, and then I have to go here. So I can go here, all the way here, down. So the idea was to get the kids to figure out what they want to do. It can go any way they want. There was no real path. But the idea was that they had to find from 2 to here. So that was one. And then there's another one. But the difference is that this one is the words. So I had the word number because as part of the Common Core, they had to know what the words look like. And so there was a 1-to-1, what the number is and what the word is. And then I had it where what the abacus is. And then I'm trying to solidify that this is a 2. So that's what you write is 2 here. And then this one was a 1-to-1. So they had to count and they had to draw a path to the number. So this is 3. So they had to find 3 items. This one was 0 is a little tricky, but it's interesting. 0 is not taught in school until later. Like they actually have their own unit for 0. But on the abacus, it's actually common. Because why? We know that this is 0 because there's no beads touching. So this is what means when we say 0. We know that it's a clean abacus. And then we have the color by number pixel art. So I had it where they can choose whatever color they want. And then I have the 1 here. And so, color in this 1 and then find all the 1s. Oh, I think I can hear my dog. So that's what this is. And then I have this one where it's still a 1-to-1 as well. And, this time I did it with dinosaurs, trying to, add a little bit of different things other than just fruits and vegetables. And then bring in the thing. So this is 3. I'd make a 3 here. Let me do that. Right? So the idea here was, is this a 3? No. Is this a 3? No. Is this a 3? Yes. So then they circle it. So the idea was to get them to recognize the number. So that's a 3. There we go. All right. And then we have a color by number. It's a little bit loose color by number. And then I actually had a thing here. I should show that. Yeah. So this one is a brand new one that I have. And so I had it where, every lesson they have a congratulation and then there's a bucket that they can fill. So here's a bucket filler. And then every lesson, so there's 12 lessons, they can take one of these stickers and they can put it on the bucket. They have their name, right? And then they can cross it out. So that was the idea. Wow, it's already been 2 years. Okay, so then I have lesson 2. Lesson 2 is talking about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's what we're doing. We're doing the numbers, right? So here we have 5. So on the abacus, that's 5. So we have 5, and then on this abacus, we have 5. And then here, on the Chinese abacus, it's a little tricky because, why? Well, on the Chinese abacus, we have 5. But if you look, this is also 5. How do I know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 2 ways to do 5, this way or that way. And that's why it's a little redundant. You could use a Chinese abacus and just use the middle part like this. You could do that. Not a problem. But then what's the point of having all these other beads? So, but then that's what it is, right? 5 or 5. So then we have 6. So 6 looks like that, right? On this abacus, that's what 6 looks like. And then on this abacus, 6 looks like that. So we have 6, 6, and 6. So here it says, when the top bead touches the beam and the bottom bead touches the beam, these beads are counted, and this abacus shows 6. So I was trying to show like the picture as well. The picture is 6, 5, 6. How do I know? Every top bead is a value of 5, no matter what we're talking about, no matter where we are. All of this is a top bead. All right, so I mean, like, we're talking about 5. This is also 5, but this is 50. How do I know? Because this is my 1s, this is my 10s. So when we look at it, it's 10s. So 50, 5, 0. This is also 5, but you have to remember the 0, 0. So it's 5, 0, 0. Anybody know what number that is? That's a 500, right? So this is also a value of 5, but with the place value, if I started here, the place value over here, anybody know what this number is? This number is 5,000. How do I know? 5000, right? And then that's also 5. But because we have place values, what number is this? This is 50,000. 50000. How do I know? Because I started here. So as I move down to each column, these are all the place values. Yeah. So that's it. So we have 6. So that's 6 and then 7. That's 7 and then this is 7. So here I have one bead is touching the beam, and then 2 beads are touching the beam as well. These beads are called counted, right? These are these two are the counted ones. So then this abacus displays 7. So on my abacus, it displays 7. See? 5, 6, 7. And then 5, 6, 7, and 5, 6, 7. And then we have 8, 8, 8. How do I know? Well, when the top bead touches the beam and 3 beads touch the beam, these beams are counted and it displays 8. So we have 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9. 9 and 9. What is it? It's 1 bead on top and 4 beads that are touching the beam. These beads are counted and this displays 9. Every column has a 9, no matter what it is, right? So this could be 9, and then this is 9, and then that's 9, and then that's 9. But again, it goes with the place values, right? So if this is 9, and then this is 9, but it's kind of different because it's 9 and a 0, so this is 90. On this abacus, on the Chinese abacus, it's still 9. Right? And then here's my 9. So this is 90. So this would be 99. How do I know? Because I started here on my 1s place as I started the 1s place on the dot. So this would be 99. And then again, that'd be 9, right? This is 900. This is 990. And then this is 999. All right. So then what's after that? 10. We know what 10 looks like because 10 is the same thing as 1, just in a different place value, right? So we have 1 or 1. 1 or 10. 10, 1. 10, 1. 10, 1. Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting because on the Chinese abacus, you can do 10, or you could do 10, or you could do 10. So on the Chinese abacus, there's 3 ways to do 10. 1, 2, 3. And that's why it's redundant on the Chinese abacus. But on the Japanese abacus, it's still the same. That's only 10. How do I know? Because this is my 1s, this is my 10s. So there'd be 1, 0. This is the 10s. Okay? All right. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I got to head out, and I will try to be more on and talk about my book. So this book is available on Amazon. If you want to know more, let me know, and I'll send you the link in the comments below. And I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.